Healthy aging, life after 70, food as medicine, natural health that actually works. Not from a doctor trying to sell you something. Not from an influencer with a ring light. From people who lived past 100 and earned every single word. This is The Art of Aging.
Hi there, welcome to the Art of Aging podcast. Let's jump in.
Healthy aging isn't about eating less. It's about eating more. More variety, more color, more life. Inside your gut right now, there are trillions of organisms that decide how well you sleep, how clear your mind is, how strong your immune system fights, and even how joyful you feel. And most people over 60 are accidentally starving them. A woman I know, let's call her Vera, was 74 years old and convinced her body was simply done changing. She'd been eating the same 7 dinners on rotation for 20 years. Chicken, rice, green beans, maybe a piece of fruit on Sundays. Predictable, safe, quiet. She came to me not because she was sick, but because she felt gray. Not sad, she said, just gray. Like the color had drained out of everything. Her energy, her enthusiasm, even her sleep felt thin. She wasn't on 10 medications. She walked every day. By every clinical measure, she was fine. But she knew something was missing, and she couldn't name it. Then, a friend mentioned something almost offhandedly at lunch. You know, they say eating 30 different plants in a week can completely transform your gut microbiome. Vera almost laughed. 30 plants? She thought she was doing well with 5. Here is what the science is now telling us about senior health and the gut. And it is nothing short of revolutionary. Inside your colon lives an ecosystem, a jungle, really. Scientists call it the gut microbiome. Over 100 trillion bacteria, fungi, and microbes that are not passengers in your body. They are co-pilots. They produce neurotransmitters. They regulate inflammation. They communicate directly with your brain through what researchers now call the gut-brain axis. And after 70, this ecosystem shrinks. Diversity plummets. The same few species dominate. And the research is now clear. Low microbial diversity in older adults is linked to cognitive decline, depression, weakened immunity, higher rates of cardiovascular disease, and accelerated physical aging. But here's what stops people mid-sentence when they first hear it. This decline is not inevitable. It is not written in stone. The microbiome is one of the most responsive organs in the human body. Feed it differently, and it responds within days. The landmark American Gut Project studied thousands of people and found one single variable that predicted microbiome diversity better than any other. Not probiotics, not supplements, not any drug. It was the number of different plant species eaten per week. People eating 30 or more different plants per week had dramatically more diverse gut microbiomes than those eating 10 or fewer. And that diversity translated into measurable differences in immune function, brain health, mood stability, and inflammatory markers. 30 plants, 7 days. That's the number that keeps appearing in the research like a quiet miracle. Now, before your mind goes to some impossible farmer's market fantasy, let me bring this down to your kitchen. Because this is the part that surprises almost everyone. A plant in this framework means any fruit, vegetable, whole grain, legume, nut, seed, herb, or spice. Garlic counts. Black pepper counts. A handful of walnuts counts. That pinch of turmeric you stir into your evening tea, it counts. Vera started by simply listing what she already ate. Onions, garlic, carrots, potatoes, tomatoes, olive oil. She was already at 6 before she'd added a single new thing. Then she started layering. She added a different grain each week. One week oats, the next week barley. She bought a bag of mixed seeds, sunflower, pumpkin, sesame, and kept them on the counter. She started buying 2 colors of bell pepper instead of 1. She added canned lentils to her soup. She tossed flaxseed into her yogurt. 30 plants sounds like a challenge. Once you start counting, it sounds like an invitation. The key principle, the one the research keeps pointing back to, is variety over volume. You do not need to eat enormous amounts. You need to rotate. Swap the apple for a pear. Swap the romaine for arugula. Swap the white rice for a mix of wild and brown. Every swap is a signal to your microbiome. There is abundance here. There is a living world here. And it begins responding within 72 hours. But I want to tell you something that goes beyond the biology. Because Vera told me something 3 weeks after she started, and it stopped me completely. She said, I started paying attention again. She said she'd walk into the grocery store and actually look. She started reading about where different foods came from. She bought a small herb pot and put it on her windowsill. Just basil and mint. And she said she watered it every morning, and it was the first thing she looked forward to all day. This is the soul lesson hidden inside the science. Diversity is not just a prescription. It is a practice of curiosity, of staying interested in life, of refusing to settle for the familiar when the world still has so much to offer. Life after 70 has a particular pull toward safety, toward the known, toward routine. And routine has its own kind of grace. But the body, this extraordinary living system we were given, it thrives on change. It was built to engage with a varied world, to encounter new things, new flavors, new textures, new colors. And when we stop offering that variety to our bodies, something quieter than disease begins to happen. The gray sets in, not just in mood, but in biology. The 30 plant practice is not just senior nutrition advice. It is a philosophical stance. It is saying, I am still curious. I am still growing. I am still tasting what this life has to offer. Vera told me last month that she made a soup with 11 different ingredients in it. 11 plants in one pot on a Tuesday evening. She sent me a photo. It was the most colorful thing I'd seen all week. She said the gray was gone. Let's bring this home. Your gut microbiome is one of the most powerful determinants of how you age. Your immune strength, your mental clarity, your mood, your energy. After 60, microbial diversity naturally declines, but it does not have to. The single most powerful thing you can do for gut diversity is eat 30 different plants each week. Not 30 servings, 30 species. Fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, nuts, seeds, herbs, and spices. You are likely closer than you think. Start counting what you already eat. Then rotate, swap, add one new thing a week. Your microbiome will respond within days. And something else will happen too. Something the science cannot fully quantify. You will start paying attention to life again. That, perhaps, is the most powerful health benefit of all.
Everything shared on the art of aging is for informational and storytelling purposes only. Nothing here is medical advice. Always consult your physician or qualified healthcare provider before making changes to your diet, especially if you are managing a health condition or taking medications. Your individual biology is unique, and your doctor knows it best.
If this episode moved you or made you want to count your plants, share it with one person you love. Not because they need fixing, because they deserve to feel less gray. Follow us at Art of Aging Podcast, wherever you listen, and leave a review if these stories are landing in your life. We read every single one.